Yo, what's up? It's X Chopper, the one and only. Gonna be doing a For Honor commentary here. So, if you're watching this, that means you're interested in For Honor. So, you know, Season 5 is right around the corner. It's actually a week from today, as I'm recording this. Today is the February 8th, so it's a week from today, next Thursday. At least I think it is. But, For Honor with Season 5, there's no new hero. They're actually going to be reworking some heroes. And if you know who X Chopper is, you know that the Conqueror is my main. He's my favorite hero. Daddy Conk. Hoorah. But he's getting a rework. So we're going to go over his changes. And we're just going to be focusing on the Conqueror. We're not going to be worrying about any other changes coming with Season 5. It's just strictly Conqueror. Balls deep Conk. So I just want to say before we get into it, I always thought with Conqueror and his charge heavy that it should have been unblockable because, at least not on launch, but when Centurion came out and he has a charge heavy that was unblockable, and then Shugoki's charge heavy was unblockable, and Highlander's offensive stance, you could kind of count that as a charged heavy. It's the same fundamentals, you know, you just hold the heavy attack button and then he goes into offensive stance, which you can kind of compare that to him charging his heavy. And it's like, how come those three heroes with their charge heavy attacks, theirs were unblockable but not Conk's? And I kind of thought it was because Conk could block with his shield while sustaining his charge, and that had to have been the reason why, because the first change on the list is his charge heavy, and Conk's charged heavies are now unblockable, which is going to be so awesome. It's going to make his charge heavies a little more deadly because now you can't just block them, and you either got to parry them or dodge, which is cool. So there is no there's no charge level now. There's no like level 1 charge or level 2 charge. It's just fully charged. That's it. It's either Conk is chilling or he's swinging his flail and it's a charged version, and that's it. So yeah, that's cool. And fully charging, you can see right there, 900 milliseconds. Really don't need to get into too much of that stuff right now. But his top heavy unblockable is 800 milliseconds and does 44 damage, while a side heavy unblockable is 700 milliseconds and does 300 damage. So that 100 millisecond time between the side heavies and the top heavy and that damage increase, you know, it's a cool trade-off. So you could take the risk of doing the slower attack that could like get blocked or parried a little easier, but it has, not blocked, I mean, because it's unblockable, but it does 44 damage, so that's really awesome. And we don't really need to worry about this stuff. Developer comments, it was easy to, back's in the way, because it had Conqueror's passive superior block defense, but it was easy for the opponent to block too. So now we added the risk by taking away defense and adding reward by making it unblockable. I wish I knew what that word was behind back, because I'm going off the same screenshots on screen, not the actual list. Anyway, moving on. His superior block was reworked, unfortunately. The biggest effect from that is whenever Conk used to block a heavy attack, like right now, he would get a guaranteed guard break, which gave Conk no risk at all. All he had to do was sit there and block a heavy. It made the person fighting the Conk not even want to do heavy attacks anymore. So it kind of made the fights boring. But now he has no superior block property and passive. It's just regular block. So if he tries to guard break after blocking a heavy, it can get countered. He only has his superior block on heavy openers, which is cool, which is that like counter attack, that little block property that the heavies have like on the startup. That's what that means. The fully charged openers, side dodges, front dodges, and full block stance. And we'll get into the full block stance a little more. Now it's actually more viable than just being a way to like end someone's chain or to feint your attacks, because the only way Conk could feint was canceling with the full block. So now it has more usage. Conqueror has enjoyed the ability to block and follow with a free guard break against many characters' heavy attacks. Obviously, everyone knew that. Can't happen anymore. But now, here we go. Conk has a new move, which is pretty exciting. He's got two new moves, but here's one of them. Shield Uppercut. To me, it kind of reminds me of Gladiator's Toe Stab in a way. So all heavies can be canceled into this new move, and I love that, because Valkyrie's heavies can get canceled into a shield bash, and Conqueror should have had something similar to that, because since he can't really feint his heavies, he has to have another option when the heavy's coming in, because they could have just gotten parried if the Conqueror didn't know he could cancel with the full block right now. But now in Season 5, if a Conk is coming in with a heavy attack, he could either cancel it with the full block, or he could come in with this new move, Shield Uppercut, which I actually haven't seen any animation or video of it because I haven't watched the live stream. If there is any, I'll try to edit it onto the screen now. If it's nothing being shown, I'm sorry, I just couldn't find it or I was lazy or whatever. I'm sure you could just look it up. So Shield Uppercut is an 800 millisecond attack. It's unblockable. Kind of like the toe stab, like I said, it's unblockable. Only does 10 stamina damage. It doesn't actually do damage. Kind of like the toe stab, in a way, I think. It has immunity to guard break, and the shield uppercut will do damage if the shield basher feat is active, which is pretty cool, I guess. So make that feat a little more useful, even though I like to use it now, the way Conk is in Season 4. Alright, so Conqueror's charge heavies are easily dodged, but with this melee as a cancel option, it should help punish people who you correctly predict will do a side dodge. Hitting with this move guarantees a follow-up of a light attack. So it seems with this statement, Conqueror, if Conqueror wants to punish like successfully, he needs to predict his blocks more with the full block if he wants to get like a guaranteed something. I'm kind of getting the idea out of it, because you can't just like block and guard break anymore, which had no risk to Conk. So you actually have to like do something to make Conk more worth it, I guess. I don't know what I'm saying there. Anyway, Conk's chains have been reworked, which is awesome. As of right now in Season 4, if Conqueror does a light attack, he can only follow it up with a second light attack, and that almost always gets blocked or parried or dodged. It never works. And so now his chains are kind of like gladiators, where you could do as many lights as you want and end it with a heavy, or you could do as many heavies as you want and you could follow with the light. That's not like Gladiator, it's only the first one, because Gladiator has like a bunch of combos with 1 light heavy, 2 lights heavy, 3 lights heavy, and Conk is going to be the same thing. You can do as many lights as you want and always follow up with the heavy. And right now in Season 4, Conk can only follow a first heavy with a second heavy, and like that's pretty fucking stupid. So after you do a heavy attack with Conk now, it's either a heavy attack or a shield bash that's followed up after that, and both of those could easily be punished. Now a heavy can be followed with any light or a shield bash mix up, which is cool. Heavy or shield bash mix up, that's always been normal, but now a light is in it. And a shield bash can be followed with any light or heavy. That's always been, it's kind of been the same. Conqueror had a real problem where if you hit with a basic light opener, you could only do another light, but that hardly ever worked. Also, if Conqueror hit with a heavy, you had to do either a shield bash mix-up or heavy, but these had basically the same long timing that could be easily reacted to. Conquerors only took the guaranteed damage after a shield bash, and then they would stop attacking, which is true. If you tried to shield bash someone as Conk, and you learned that it didn't work on your opponent, you're not going to keep doing it, because you're going to just keep taking damage. So that's what led Conks to turtling. So now we improved the chain rules to help Conquerors sustain their attacks. Good stuff, Conk. Good stuff, Daddy Conk. Light attacks. So light attacks are a little faster. Top light is now 500 milliseconds, was 600. Infinite light chain strikes 500, they were 600. And lights do a little more damage at 15 when they used to do 12, which is cool. Especially if lights are only guaranteed after shield bash now, you're going to have to rely on weaning their health slowly down. And 12 kind of used to take a long time. So now 15 will be a little cooler. Full block stance cancel. Season 4 right now, you could cancel light attacks with full block stance, which I actually never knew until about like a month ago. So that's kind of sad on my part, I guess. But they're taking that away. Can't do that anymore. You can only cancel heavy attacks with full block. You can no longer cancel light attacks. It used to cause flicker and rollback issues, so that's why they got rid of it. But they kept the ability to enter full block stance from the heavy attacks and from light and heavy recoveries. So that's cool. Sorry about that. Alright, full block stance. Here, this is a pretty awesome one. This is really what gave Conk a rework, is this change right here. Or at least I think so. So when you successfully block an attack with full block, you now have a new move called Flail Uppercut. And the input is heavy, so you block with full block, and the next input you do is the heavy attack to do a Flail Uppercut. Conqueror can no longer shield bash, rip whatever the frig that is, dodge, or basic attack during full block stance. So when you're in full block stance, really the only thing you're really going to be doing is blocking. Or, with this next bullet, Conqueror can zone attack from full block stance. So if people are trying to get near you to guard break you with the guaranteed guard break when you have full block, you could use the zone attack to kind of keep them away from you, which is cool. So since Conqueror's regular blocking doesn't have superior block properties anymore, they now gave his full block stance is considered superior block when it was regular. So that means if you block a heavy with full block, I think you'll be able to do a guard break unless the recovery time is too slow to get out of it. It'd probably just be the best thing to do the Flail Uppercut, which is pretty much the same outcome. Because before you'd block the heavy, guard break, and then do the heavy attack. Now you'd block with full block and then do Flail Uppercut. And you'd still kind of get the same outcome, but it's not as easy. There's more risk to it, which is cool. Makes Conk a little less turtley to fight against. Full block stance entry is 300 milliseconds. It was 200. And exit is now 200 milliseconds and was 400. So you might actually be able to guard break after blocking with full block. But don't quote me on that. Could be wrong. I don't really know my timings too well. And stamina cost for entering full block. Oh, shit. I lost my place. Stamina cost for entering full block is now 20, and it was 6. So you can't just like it's kind of more of a risk actually going in this full block. Stamina regen cooldown after full block has been removed. It was 4 seconds. That's cool. I actually just realized what that meant reading this. Conk Season 4, when you did full block and got out of it, it took forever for your stamina to recharge, but looks like that was removed. Looks like it'll just recharge normally. It's pretty awesome. Stamina cost for blocking an attack from full block stance has been made 0. No longer regen stamina during these blocks, and Conqueror is no longer unbalanced when blocking and going out of stamina. I always thought that was so stupid when Conk blocked full block and it put him out of stamina that it knocked him on his ass. It's so stupid. He's a defensive character with a shield, and now he gets hit by a shield and he gets knocked over. I understand there's because he was out of stamina, but I always thought it was stupid, and it made me never want to use full block, especially with the slow stamina recovery after it. Sorry, you can hear my dogs barking now. That really sucks that you can hear that now. Anyway, so that's cool. So full block has a little more risk going into it, but there's more you can do coming out of it, is what I'm getting from this rework. In keeping with the general philosophy of risk-reward on this character, now if you block something from full block stance, you can punish them with the Flail Uppercut. We'll get into that next. The intention is that this is now something you can use to punish predicted attacks with, rather than a safe way to turtle, like I was saying, just going over. I don't want to repeat myself. New move, Flail Uppercut, replacing Shield Bash, riposte. Oh my god, you guys are laughing at me right now. Alright, so Flail Uppercut replaces that Shield Bash. Flail Uppercut strike is 500 milliseconds, and the Shield Bash was 800. I could just like imagine doing the Shield Bash out of the full block and just how slow it is. So the Flail Uppercut is going to be obviously quicker, so that's cool. Uses the heavy input, does 30 damage, so it does more damage than a normal heavy, which is 25. And it can execute this fucking shit. So you gotta be careful attacking Conk when you only have a bar of health, because if he hits you with a full block, that's pretty much game over. So you gotta be careful for that. This move is intended to be guaranteed after successfully predicting an attack from full block stance. We feel that the Conqueror is taking a risk with full block stance, and Conqueror deserves to land good damage as a reward. That's why full block now is worthless in Season 4. Shield Bash did not do a good job to help Conqueror counterattack, that's right, so Flail Uppercut has been built specifically for that purpose. Hell yeah! Reworks. Alright, Shield Bash mix-up. After a hit, branching to light attack is now at 400 milliseconds, was at 0. And after a hit, branching to heavy attack and full block stance are at 400 ms. Where they were at 300. Shield Bash mix-up is slightly better at tracking opponents who dodge sideways. That's kind of vague, I guess. Hit area reduced horizontally. Does 10 stamina damage, was 20. Immune to guard breaks properly now start at 100 milliseconds. With a Shield Bash mix-up. Hit recovery is now 700 milliseconds and was 800. And you get a stance change default defense at 600 milliseconds. Okay. So that pretty much means you can't get a guaranteed heavy after shield bash anymore. Pretty much is what I'm getting out of that. Hit recovery. Okay, I just read that, I think. Hit recovery. Default. Miss recovery is now 700, and you get stance chain. Before, you can only perform any action at 400. You do get the ability to launch light attack, heavy attack, and full block stance at 300. That's cool. Developer comments. After the shield bash mix-up, you are still guaranteed the light attack, but no longer guaranteed the heavy unless you hit them into a wall. Note that all shield bashes in the Conqueror now do 10 stamina damage. This is to move Conqueror away from sapping the opponent's stamina, as the Conqueror is now better positioned at a mix of hard-hitting offense and predictive defense with good punish, rather than trying to be a stamina bully. Right now in Season 4, you had to like really rely on getting your opponent low stamina, and when your opponent was exhausted, you really had to rely on baiting them with forward dodges and shield bashes, and side dodges and shield bashes, because anytime you hit an opponent who was exhausted with a shield bash, it would make their exhaustion go down more, and it would slow down their regen. So you could punish pretty hardcore, but it seems that now we kind of got to, conk players got to not really rely on being an abuser, kind of like how Centurion is. I guess that's more of Centurion's role in Season 5 and not much more conks. So that's cool, I guess. Shield bash, forward dodge now branches to shield bash from 100 to 500 ms, was 300 to 500. So you could probably do it a lot quicker, so they really have less time to react to it, is what I'm getting out of that. Forward dodge now branches to full block stance from 600, and it was 800 ms. So it seems like you could like dodge and then go into the full block anticipating an attack, and then if you block with the full block, you can do the Flail Uppercut or whatever it's called and get that guaranteed 30 damage. Forward dodge can now break into attack options including guard break from 600 milliseconds. See, that's what I was talking about, where you would have to kind of bait the forward dodge shield bashes in Season 4, but now it seems like in Season 5 you'll be able to do a little better. When you dodge forward, they'll think you're going to shield bash, so they'll just instinctively dodge, but then you guard break and grab them with the guaranteed guard break because they're dodging. So now that it's at 600 milliseconds, it'll be a little easier to pull that off. After a hit, all branching starts at 100 milliseconds, some are at 0, some 300, and some 600. Light attack is still guaranteed after shield bash. That's good. And shield bash now does 10 stamina damage, and it was 20. Good stuff. Reduce the range to 125 meters instead of 1.5. And the side dodge to 1.25 from 2, which kind of stinks, but since Conk has other options, you really don't have to rely on the shield bash as much as you do in Season 4 and beforehand. Increase forward movement by 1 meter, so that's cool. Shield bash knockback reduced by 0.8 meters, so a reduced situation where you whiff the following attack, which in current state of the game, sometimes you would shield bash someone and they would go like way farther and you would miss an attack, so that's apparently going to be fixed. And yeah, you can see other random stuff. I don't have to keep going through the list. It's kind of getting boring now. Conqueror is able to hit an opponent because you're... Oh, here we go. This is the charging shield. I was about to skip right over that. So the charging shield crush is not really good for attack damage anymore. Now it's really just for group fights, because in the current state of the game, when you hit your opponent, when you knock them over, you would hit them with a heavy attack, but they would be in the get up animation, and like that made the opponent not react to the hit at all. And I actually never knew this. Then the opponent could get an uncounterable guard break on the Conqueror after that. So if you're fighting a Conqueror and he knocked you over with that shield bash crush and hit you with the heavy like they were always going to do to get damage out of that, you could have gotten a guaranteed guard break after that. That's crazy. So now when Conqueror knocks someone over, the opponent will get up faster, so they'll have time to block the following heavy. So it's pretty much, that move is kind of worthless for damage. It's more for group situations, it says, or to knock someone off the edge. So it kind of like changes that, I guess. Top heavy. So the regular top heavy in Season 4 right now is slower than the side heavies, but does the same amount of damage. So it was pretty much worthless. I always thought it was worthless, but then I kind of convinced myself that it was slower to mess up enemy timing, so they would try to like parry it with the same timing as the sides, but it wouldn't work, because I've killed people that way, and it's pretty satisfying. But now the top heavy is going to do more damage at 33, which is fucking sweet. Kind of like when a warden throws you up against the wall and does a top heavy. Now conks are going to start throwing you up against the wall and doing top heavies. To help the Conqueror and the hard hitter, we also increase the damage on this. Yep. Top heavy is longer and isn't guaranteed on guard break or after a Flail Uppercut. That's right. Zone attack. When activated from full block, remove the 100 gap on startup. He can now be parried properly. He's no longer interrupted. It's okay. We kind of don't really need to care about this. And that's pretty much it, actually. Awesome. So, all in all, Conqueror is a little different now. He can't turtle as easily as he can now and get the easy punishes, which kind of stinks, but that just made Conk easy to play as. And all the Conk mains just got to get some skill now, pretty much, with being able to time the full blocks at the right moments, which they definitely got the inspiration from Aramusha, because Aramusha's like that. So now Conk is like that, except Conk can sustain his full block. It's not like it's only for a second. So Conqueror pretty much has elements from Highlander, Gladiator, and Aramusha in a way in his kit now, and Valkyrie. I almost forgot Valkyrie with the heavy cancels. So he's pretty viable now. Honestly, it kind of seems like he's a little better than some of the vanilla heroes that didn't get reworked, but really not, because the full block timings. The full block is really the only thing that makes him as good as he is in Season 4, because it has the guarantees because of the superior block property. But full block obviously has to be timed. It's not just neutral all the time. So it really does like give Conk more risks, but gives him more rewards as well. So instead of those two things being kind of even, now risks is down and reward is up. Or actually, risk is up and reward is up too. I don't know, Anyway, I'm starting to ramble on, making this too long than it has to be. Thank you for watching. X-Chopper, all you Conk mains out there, give me a raw in the comments. Alright, thanks. Goodbye.